Good morning, everybody, and welcome to English 1102. We are doing an asynchronous 12-week section, and so if that's what you were looking for, you have found the right place. I am so happy to be here with you. My name is Dr. Ashley Ott, and I am going to be your instructor over the next 12 weeks. A little bit about myself. I sent an announcement earlier in the week just welcoming you to our class, and so I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. But before that, I just wanted to let you know that this week we'll be working on two things. The first video that you'll see, this welcome video, is just sort of orienting you, welcoming you to our classroom and helping you feel comfortable in how to access our course materials, where to find the week's units, and how to complete the assignments and continue to learn in an easy and maybe accessible manner. But a little bit about me. First of all, I'm so excited to learn more about you, but I wanted to introduce myself to you first. I have a doctorate from St. Louis University in English. I specialized in medieval literature and wrote my dissertation on a few chapters, one chapter on Chaucer, one on Marjorie Kemp, and one on a manuscript, late 16th century manuscript, actually. And so I am really excited to be working with you on rhetoric and composition. I love teaching at COD, but before COD, I taught at various places. St. Louis University is where I taught a lot of my classes, and those ranged from poetry, introduction to literature, gender and sexuality, to rhetoric and composition. And then when I moved back to the Chicagoland area, I got my feet wet in teaching a few different places. I taught at North Central for a little while, DePaul, which was a little too far, but a great place to work. And I still work at Aurora University as a writing specialist. So I love to work with students on their writing, and I love to learn from them. And I do that as sort of a consultant / tutor in the academic support center over there. I also love and especially love teaching at COD. English 1102 is one of my favorite classes to teach because I love to see how students have sort of begun to develop interests in the writing that they've done, perhaps if they've taken 1101. But in 1102, we really get to dig into some research. We get to start building portfolios and thinking about issues that we're really invested in. And I think that's probably the most special part for me. What I wanted you to do this week, I did send an announcement, but I'll also add this to our first units, is to listen to the welcome messages. I had one from Elijah, one from Bianca, and one from Allison, and you can actually find those in my first message that I sent you last week on Thursday. I'll also post them in our units folder in case you missed them. But I think it's always nice to hear from students of the past who have taken 1102, especially my section, and to just get the lowdown on what to expect from words that aren't my own. I also wanted to welcome back Yahira, Jaden, Michael, Wyatt, Martin, Davidus, Mohammed, Madison, Nuwaira, and Manaz. It's so good to see you guys back. I had these students in 1101 and they were awesome. So this is going to be a wonderful class again, and I'm so excited to work with you and continue to extend and sharpen the skills that we began developing in 1101. If I didn't have you in 1101, I cannot wait to meet you and know that great things will happen as I get to know you more and more. Just a few brief notes before I start giving you a tutorial of our Blackboard site. Over the next 12 weeks, we're going to be working on a really exciting project called the Community Assessment Project. I came up with this idea after working with a lot of students in the Masters of Social Work program, and at Aurora University, I thought this was a really cool idea to think about how we can use our research and our ideas and our personal experiences into creating a project that has the potential to enhance our own communities. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about what we'll define community as for this particular class. And we'll kind of explore what that means for you in the coming weeks. Community assessments target gaps between what services currently exist in a community and what could or should exist, And so in this class, you're going to use your own community, and that could be a local community or a community that you were a part of at one point, as a means of closer study and examination. Topics, for those of you who were in 1101, may deserve further attention or development in this class, or you can begin totally anew. I will be happy to guide you in your work this semester and to share with you examples of excellent past projects. A few other brief notes are that this isn't a self-paced class. A lot of our writing depends upon a very coordinated and encouraging peer environment. And so the materials that we complete each week are sort of completed beginning and complete by the end of the week. And so it's also important that you stay up on your assignments, because a lot of the assignments we work on are collaborative or require others to weigh in on or comment upon the writing. And so if you stay on top of those things, then you can take the feedback and grow from that. And that's what's most important, is your personal growth. And so during the first week, Unit 1, you'll have access to the Unit 1 folder material only. And so every Monday, you can expect me to allow access to the next unit. We'll have 12 units altogether. Due dates also in this class will follow a Wednesday-Friday turn-in schedule. I love grading your work and giving you feedback, but I do need a couple extra days so that I'm not always behind. And so the weekend is kind of my time for catching up and sending you as much feedback as I can before we begin the next unit. And so having that Wednesday, Friday turn-in is important for me. If that doesn't actually work for your schedule, there are other online classes, asynchronous classes. So I won't feel bad if you have, only the weekends to work on things. Then maybe this particular section won't be conducive to your success. And I just want to throw that out there from the very beginning. I want everyone to succeed, and I want you to have the tools to succeed. So just being really forthright and transparent about sort of turn-in schedules and the ways in which this classwork are important. Also, you don't need to purchase a textbook for this class. I do have lots of supplemental readings and use online educational resources, online textbooks to help us along the way. After teaching since, I think I've been teaching since 2009, I have lots of experience, lots of materials collected, and I'm happy to share those with you along the way. If you wouldn't mind, please clicking on our syllabus. I'm going to walk you through a few brief notes before we dive into our units, which are, again, there'll be 12 and contain the content for each week's learning. I also want you to just take a brief note of our tabs here. Some of the important things you'll see are our syllabus. I'll move this welcome video tab down after the first week, but I want that to be here so everyone can find it easily. Announcements will come in your email. Please make sure you're checking your email every day. But I won't be sending emails every day or announcements every day. You don't have to worry about that. If you do miss an announcement, you can always click here and you'll see a whole history of the announcements. The composition corner is my name for our discussion board, so that's an easy way to get there, but you can also get there in our units folders where I have them linked. Please keep track of your grades as we go. You'll see that the first thing you have to do is your composition corner, welcome website ePortfolio posts. I'll explain that in my second video. I'll always have a calendar for you. I'm still working on our February calendar, but the calendar is a visual way for you to kind of understand what is going to be turned in and when. You can send me an email by clicking here. You can also send me an email at my email address, which is otta1866@cod.edu. I'm also find it really important to have a lot of resources for mental health and financial aid support. And so this document right here has all of the lists of names and numbers that you might need for counseling, early alert, or access to the behavioral intervention team. Also for financial aid, which I'll duplicate in the syllabus. So if you would join me in clicking on our syllabus, I'm going to hit some of the highlights. Again, this class is really going to be focused on thinking about community, what community means, how are communities created, and what do we have to offer ourselves as a result of research and sort of sustained thinking about our projects this semester. I start with a quote by Coretta Scott King, who says that the greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members. And so again, thinking of ourselves as members and what compassionate actions look like is something we'll be working on this semester. I am so excited to work with you in 1102. This class builds upon the rhetoric, reading, and writing concepts introduced in English Comp 1 by having students compose inquiry-driven research projects. That means your questions that you have driven research. In your research processes, you'll find and select the most appropriate sources to address research questions that are intended for a specific discourse community. And this word we'll kind of talk about more in depth in the coming weeks. You'll integrate sources meaningfully for support and present your findings via the forms of media and genre that suit the project's objectives. And so we kind of have a lot of wiggle room here. We're going to be working on our portfolios, which are going to be actually websites that you create. You can use Google Sites or some other kind of platform, but I'll explain that in a little bit. I also include here a student success plan. All of this, by the way, if you'd like to pause this video and kind of read through more carefully, please do. I encourage you to, because I will not have time to sort of go through everything in detail. But here are some of the ways that you can succeed in this class. I really take pleasure in seeing my students succeed, so please know that I'm here to support and guide you. I hope that my 1101 students will agree that, I do really want you to succeed, and I'm happy to work with you to get you, to meet you halfway and to help you achieve your goals. Each week I'll make sure to post our course objectives to the top of our units page so that you know exactly which course objectives we're completing. These are important because at the end of this class, I'm assuring that you are completing these, and these are the ways that I'm assessing you, that you can complete the course objectives that follow, all 11 of those. Our main course communication is going to be through Blackboard and our email accounts. Here's some email guidelines. I will respond within 24 hours. It might take longer on the weekends. I don't have my email on my cell phone, so I'm not checking it all the time. I have a specific time in the morning and then in the afternoon when I do those things, just to keep my sanity. And so I love your emails, but I will get to them probably not rapid fire, but please be patient. I will get back to you within the day and sometimes a little bit longer over the weekends. Please read the coursework expectations. Learning Commons is another resource. I'm just adding this here so you know it exists at COD. And here's our grading. Because we complete a wide variety of assignments, I'm always looking for invested creative thinking. I want you to see that the whole semester will be 1,000 points, and this is how it's broken up. We're going to be composition corner / e-portfolios, which I explained below, are 400 points. We do this 8 times, so 50 times 8 is 400 points. Drafting and workshopping. This is really important for you to notice that drafts in this class are worth the same amount of points as your revised major projects. And that's sort of a boon to you because sometimes drafts aren't right. They're drafts. They're not the most perfect example of our scholarly attention. And so I do reward you for drafting and revising, of trying and really learning and growing from the composition process. So that's my gift to you. I love looking at drafts. I love giving you feedback. I love helping you reach your goals. And so offering drafts and workshops as evaluation for your points as equal to final projects will help you. Your 3 major projects this semester are scaffolded and build off the same initial inquiry that you begin. So the first question that we're going to start etching out in the coming weeks is the same research topic that will continue to transform in subsequent weeks throughout the semester. So you won't have separate research projects. You'll have one kind of larger project and one particular topic that will evolve over the course of the semester. Please read carefully the Composition Corner discussions, Project 1, Project 2, and Project 3. I explained just very briefly what those are. Some other goodies in the syllabus include scholarships at COD, emergency funding, fuel pantry, and financial resources. Also, when you can withdraw, April 22nd is the date there. Assignment formatting, we'll mostly use APA formatting. I'll explain that later. And then finally, the due dates calendar, which gives you a sense of week 1. We begin, the first due date for Unit 1 will be Wednesday, and the second due date will be Friday. And so you can kind of see where we have spring break, last day to withdraw, and all the other information about our semester. Last day will be Friday, May 19th. if you would please join me after sort of examining our syllabus with more care and clicking up to our units folder and clicking on Unit 1, please join me in opening, unlocking, exploring our first week's materials.